Always true.
I'm Osama bin Javed in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, and on my left is the Indian side. Just days after a deadly escalation between the two nuclear-armed neighbors, suddenly there was a ceasefire. As guns fell silent, questions rose. Was this a sovereign decision or one shaped by pressure from the United States? With two nuclear-armed rivals on the brink of all-out war, the stakes couldn't be higher. Pakistan says it chose peace, but without a long-term roadmap, the truce may not hold. What really happened behind the scenes, and where does Pakistan go from here? Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar talks to Al Jazeera. Mr. Ishaq Dar, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, thank you very much for taking the time.
It's a pleasure joining you.
We saw jets in the air, missiles flying, guns blaring on the border, and then abruptly all of it came to an end and there was a ceasefire. We saw what was happening on the front lines, but what was happening behind closed doors? How did that ceasefire come about?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Usually the whole episode started on 22nd when the Pahalgam incident took place. Then 23rd, there were some diplomatic measures. India announced they were all Pakistan specific. They did not name in their press release about any name of Pakistan, but obviously they were all Pakistan specific. So 24th morning, we responded. The world community was asking both the countries to exercise restraint. Pakistan had given its word that we will demonstrate full patience, we will exercise full restraint, we will not be the first one to take an escalating move. 6th May night, there was almost 75 to 80 Indian jet fighters were in the sky. Our Air Force was already alert. We were fully, our armed forces were fully alert. So they engaged each other. This remained both right in this space. Indian fighters, they fired at 6 locations, 4 in Punjab and 2 in Azad Kashmir. But then it didn't stop there. So our brave Air Force fighters, they downed 5 Indian jets. Probably India did not digested that very massive defeat. The global newspaper wrote that Pakistan Air Force is, has established its supremacy. And then the following day, they had fired 4 missiles. 3 hit in Indian East Punjab, Amritsar, 1 in Pakistan. It was engaged and destroyed 130 kilometers in air. So it was inside Pakistan space. So, there was, our patience were running out. All international players were reaching out to Pakistan, pleading and advising exercise of restraint. So we told them that very soon our patience will run out. And, the drones were virtually not acceptable because right from the north and south of Pakistan, drones were everywhere. And common man, public, general public was very annoyed, and there was a chaos. So the decision was 9th night after the 6th sky fight. The decision was that if tonight they still don't stop, then we will give them measured, proportionate, responsible in our own defense. We'll hit back. That's exactly what happened. And they made that silly mistake of then attacking the Noor Khan base, Shorkot base, Muzaffargarh airport, Sakkar airport. So the relevant body in Pakistan had already authorized the armed forces by 1 a.m. On 10th of May, which was the night of 9th, that if they attack, you have the permission and authorization to take the countermeasures, which were taken. By early hours of 10th, when our operation was almost done, counter-operation in defense, under UN Charter 51, Article 51, we were approached by friendly countries, led by US. Secretary Rubio spoke to me. He spoke earlier. He had spoken in the last few days to Prime Minister. He spoke to Army Chief, and then finally spoke to me that day, 10th morning around 8:15, 8:20, that he said India is ready to stop if Pakistan is ready to stop.
So that's a very interesting point that you make there, that Secretary Marco Rubio told you that India is ready to stop if Pakistan stops. So does this mean that India approached the United States, not Pakistan?
I don't know whether India approached
Did Pakistan
or whether
approach?
No, we did not. We did not. And I think sanity prevailed in an international community because the way they had gone, I would say, very irresponsible, and both countries being nuclear armed states, I think it was not fair. You see, you level an allegation, you get a offer that, okay, let's have the independent, neutral investigators investigate if Pakistan has to do anything to do with it. Our hands were clean, otherwise we would not have made that offer. And between 23rd of April and 6th of May night, we had told them, and we kept up our word that we will demonstrate patience, we will exercise restraint, we will not be the first one who will attack and take any escalating move. We stood by that.
So the ceasefire, was this imposed on Pakistan by the United States if Pakistan did not ask for it? So because there's a lot of...
It's not a question of imposing.
So what did the US tell you?
It's a question of sanity. It's a question of peace, preferring peace over destruction. It's a question of, instead of involving in egoism, being realistic. If we had followed what our neighbor had followed, then there would have been catastrophic consequences in this entire region. And not only for the two countries, but within the region and beyond. So I think one should compliment those. It's not only US. After Secretary Rubio, UAE had already been involved for the last few days. Then Saudi Arabia was involved. A night before their state minister had gone, I had spoken to the foreign minister, Prince Faisal. I had spoken to UAE Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed. So they were all interested to cool down both sides and to just try to give a wise advice that please, it is not in anyone's interest what was doing. So I don't think it was imposed on us. We are free. Yes, since we had committed, and we still are committed. We still are committed. We showed great patience between 6th and 9th night. There were 72 hours in between, and we are still committed to restore peace, work for this region has almost 1/5 of the world population. I think it will totally insane and irresponsible on anyone's part who wishes to go into a war. So I think there was no imposition. The offer was very happily accepted because they quoted the other side is ready. So for one qualifier was also conveyed. Please make sure that India doesn't does any further action, because if they do not stop and take any further action, we have the right to respond again. But we had shown enough patience between 6th and 9th May nights, no more.
So does this mean that this is a lull, or is it a ceasefire? Is it going to hold, or are we expecting that this could flare up at any other time?
Well, again, as I said, Pakistan believes in peace. Pakistan has demonstrated so. The mantra of terrorism involvement is just fake. Pakistan is the biggest sufferer because of terrorism. We have the front line, warriors for the global war, in the global war of against the terrorism. It's all facts are known to the whole world. We lost 90,000 people. We have lost, losses of $150 billion. The indirect losses add up to $450 billion. So nobody else would like to have terrorism eradicated from the planet other than Pakistan. So, but that doesn't mean we keep blaming each other. You see, this is an internal problem. Just few weeks back, we had Jafar Express, if you recall, probably the 5th train hijacking and terrorism incident in the world. We do not blame anybody. It is our responsibility. It's an internal affair that we make sure that external or internal, domestic, nobody should, carry out any such, incident or terrorism act. So here it is an internal problem to deal with terrorism. They have externalized it. India has chosen to externalize it. The Jammu and Kashmir, which is the external problem, where there are a number of UN resolutions, starting from Resolution 47 of 1948 and so many resolutions, OSCE resolutions. So they have internalized in 2019 deleted their constitutional acceptance of it being disputed area, promised to the world community will hold self-determination, give this to the Kashmiri people through plebiscite under the auspices of the United Nations, all went in the air after they successfully convinced the international community that Pakistan is a bad boy. So this time we proactively made the whole world community aware of where the lies are, where the truth is. And after having believed us, I think it's a sensible thing on the parts of all these countries that just counted. United States of America took the lead, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom. So all these countries were actively involved, Turkey. So they were all involved and, preaching for the, exercise of restraint. I think it is for the humanity, for the people of the entire region. It's not only for Pakistan and India.
But you see, there are two sides to this. You say that 33 people were killed in Pakistan. India says 26 people died there. There's civilians who are dying here. India says that it killed terrorists. Pakistan says it was civilians. Pakistan says it targeted military sites. India says it killed civilians. Where is the accountability? Who should be held accountable?
First of all, you cannot, my dear friend, you cannot compare the two. 26, you have to see who were responsible. They were civilians. The 32 killed in Pakistan as a consequence of 6th May, release of payloads and attacks on our 6 locations, 4 in Punjab, 2 in Azad Kashmir. That's totally different. So those are 97. The global community, media and the global community is welcome to come and visit 6 places and see establish themselves, whether they were terrorist camps or whether they were residential colonies. And innocent civilians have been, all those who were killed, their identities are available. All those who have survived and are seriously injured, their particulars are available. So that's why we open-heartedly, we offered, let there be independent investigation and let the international community, independent investigators, establish whether, so that's having said that, so since we have claimed that, they have claimed that it's our doing. We have told the international communities nothing to do with Pakistan, nothing to do with Pahalgam incident. So I think if the real, objective is to eradicate terrorism, we are all out because we are the biggest sufferers. And we dealt with terrorism 2013 to 2018 when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was Prime Minister of Pakistan and I was Finance Minister of Pakistan. We spent huge money. It used to be a wish list of the West, no other than Senator Kerry and at that time Vice President Joe Biden, at the time of President Obama. They used to ask us, would any government in Pakistan take that courage to take the terrorists in the northern area on? Yes, we did. We spent hundreds of billions of rupees. We didn't ask for any compensation from the global community. So we eradicated it, almost eradicated in 4 years. So this has resurrected. So the reasons, there's a long debate why it happened, why it resurrected. But this government again has the resolve to clean and cleanse this terrorism from our soil. And we should have the aim to clean the terrorism from the entire planet.
So why do you think that India insists that, and it goes back to 2019, it goes back to other attacks where it says information in Mumbai attacks as well was shared with Pakistan and nothing came out of it, and that is why India says that they were compelled to take such action. And even today when you hear the Indian leaders speak, they would say they were specifically targeting terror camps. And if you say that there is no truth to these allegations, why would India do it?
But when we are offering the global community and the international media to come and visit and see this themselves, so we are open book. So that shows the transparency. That endorses our claim that we haven't done it. We have nothing to do with it. Because we are fighting. I mean, we never put blame, although credible evidences of indirect involvement of Indian certain actors were there in Jafar Express. It is an internal problem. We make sure that it shouldn't happen. So likewise, as I said, it's an internal problem which they should deal with. But, it was very magnanimous on the part of Pakistan to have offered independent. And I think if any sense would have prevailed, it would have been, straight away should have been accepted. But perhaps the choreographing done in 2019, some analysts say that it was again action replay.
So when you say it was choreographed and you tell India that they have not given you any proof or any evidence that Pakistan was involved in the Pahalgam attacks. Have you given them any proof of why it was or how it was a choreographed act? Because if they have not provided evidence, you haven't provided it either.
My friend onus lies on Indians. We didn't make any claim.
But you're calling it a false flag operation.
Yeah, it is. Because otherwise they should have provided the evidence. It is the claimant who has to provide evidence. I mean, this is simple sense and simple law. We are saying we haven't done it. They should provide the word with the evidence that here are the details and here are the reasons why we say believe. And okay, we have two parties to an issue. That's why we said independent investigators. We didn't say that it should be from Pakistan or from India. So I think that proves our innocence.
So when you say an independent investigation, so you're saying it could be the United Nations, it could be certain countries. You're open to anybody mediating between these two sides and investigating what actually happened.
Mediation and investigation, two different parts. Mediation has taken place, we have seen who, and we just named few countries. And they made sincere efforts for the humanity, for the peace in this region, that should be complimented. Now, the investigation is obviously a totally different subject, which was straight away within 3 or 4 days, Prime Minister of Pakistan made offer publicly. He was addressing Kakul Academy and he made this offer. And I think that's made our case very strong, because you do not offer where you have any possibility of involvement, and obviously you fear that you will get caught. So we have nothing to do with it.
You say Pakistan showed a magnanimous role here, and it was a reserved response that it showed, and it was calculated. But there were indications that Pakistan said that it is a nuclear state. Do you think that if this ceasefire hadn't happened, could we have gone into something that both countries wouldn't have been able to scale back from?
I think India realizes it very much. It would be total madness to think on any part of any country to go and enter into nuclear war. That would be total destruction, not of the two countries, but beyond, the region and beyond. So I'm sure it is perhaps an attempt to establish its hegemony and the claims they have been making in the last couple of years, that they have supremacy in this region. They are the only one who will maintain the regional peace. No. We talk on equality. We talk on a dignified manner. We respect and we want to be respected and expect to be respected. So we have broken that myth of supremacy. We are co-equals. We are two nuclear armed states. We should both act responsibly. We should try and deal with all the menace and all the problems through diplomacy and dialogue. And where we need mediators, we should involve mediators. We are open to all these things.
You talked about the human cost. Let's talk about the actual cost of war that has been going on for both countries. Pakistan has been facing a number of economic crises. India obviously is a bigger economic power than Pakistan. So what does it cost Pakistan to go to war or continue with war? And wouldn't it be in Pakistan's interest to prevent war in the first place?
Listen, there are two things we have to consider. It takes two to tango. Pakistan simply cannot, on its own, unilaterally establish peace and put sense in other countries' mind that please don't do it. It's not good for you, not good for us, not good for the region. Number one. Number two, when it's a question of dignity, when it's a question of honor, when it's a question of sovereignty, when it's a question of territorial integrity, there's no price to make sure that that is protected. And Pakistan has proven it.
What concrete steps are you going to take that this doesn't happen in the future? We've seen it multiple times between these two countries. Is there a mechanism? Is there a roadmap where these two countries, if you cannot solve those differences bilaterally, perhaps involve a third party to come up with a mechanism where, rather than going to war, investigate and make sure that whichever incident happens on either side, because these incidents keep happening, and these countries keep coming to the brink of war, wouldn't it be appropriate to have a roadmap and mechanism?
Great idea, but Pakistan has already made the second offer, reformed offer. After we heard nothing about the independent investigation, we said, let's agree to a mechanism. The global international actors be involved, and the forums are available, multilateral, and let them be responsible. So exactly what you said, we have already offered to the global community that we are ready even for that. So that shows our sincerity of purpose.
In terms of going forward, this ceasefire, as it come into effect, you've heard from the United States, not just the Secretary of State, but the President himself, indicating that there could be talks about the issue of Kashmir. Where do we go from here? The Director General of the Military Operations are talking to each other. The issue of water is pending. Kashmir obviously is simmering always in the background. Is there hope at the end of the tunnel?
My friend, the solution to all problems is diplomacy and dialogue. We have to sit across the table, and it has to be composite dialogue. But we have been voicing for many years. The composite dialogue would lead to, with the sincerity of purpose and with complete honesty, if we both try, I think we can find solution. And there's a great potential. If we can resolve these issues, there's a great potential. Why we haven't been able? Where is SARC? Why SARC is not acting, acting and is in operation? So you see the blocks, economic blocks, you see the EU, you see so many blocks, ASEAN, as those are working like anything and benefiting their people. But here, the one economic bloc we created, SARC, even that is not functional. Now this is virtually dysfunctional because of one country's veto. So you see, I think there is a great scope that if both countries with complete honesty and sincerity sit together, and I can assure you, our government has the first, second, third preference, the economic revival. We had reached 2017, we became 24th global economy. We were just 4 notches away to be part of the global premium club known as G20 economic club. So unfortunately, I don't want to dilate what happened between 2017 and 2022, but we declined from 24th global economy to 47th global economy. I normally call it was 2 pandemics, the COVID and the human natural and the human pandemics. So that took the country from 24th global economy to 47th. But there's a separate subject. It's a domestic dialogue and discussion and corrective action.
Well, you are Pakistan's top diplomat. Coming back to the situation with Pakistan, you've got a neighborhood which is not one of the world's friendliest neighborhoods, if we can put it mildly. You've got India on one side. You haven't got the best of relations with Afghanistan at the moment. You were recently there. You tried to mend things. And then you don't have a great relationship with Iran either. So where is Pakistan's diplomacy headed? And in this neighborhood, is Pakistan isolated, or is Pakistan going to go forward with the support and cooperation with its neighbors?
I think let's look at it from a different angle. First of all, we have restored very good relations with Afghanistan. I was there, engaged with the Prime Minister of interim government. Deputy Prime Minister of interim government looks after the entire cabinet. The Foreign Minister of Afghanistan. There has been a trilateral also at the level of ambassador, recent dialogue. So Afghanistan is okay. Iran, we have no issue at all. Certain elements we both recognized, and then they fired towards. If you're pointing to that incident, we counterfired, and we took retaliatory action. Now, tell me one neighbor of India with whom India has good relations. We have good relations with Afghanistan. We have good relations with almost every neighbor we have. We have good relations with China. We have good relations with Iran. We have good relations with everybody. Please name one that India has good relations with. Can you?
I'm not here to defend the Indian government, so
I think you better not. Don't try to attempt it. You will be defeated very badly.
Let's talk about Pakistan, because our interview is focused on Pakistan and Pakistan's role going forward. The issue of Kashmir remains a major issue. What about the water? How is that going to be solved?
My dear friend, the water issue, we have made the country's position very clear on 24th of April.
So has India. They just pulled out of the treaty.
No, it can't be put in abeyance. International treaties can't be put on abeyance. There's no provision in. If there's any difference of opinion or interpretation, there is a 3-level, 3-tier forums. So commissioners and the next forum and next forum, number 1. It can only be amended or terminated with the mutual consent. The international treaties and the future, the water requirements of the globe, and particularly Pakistan, being low riparian, agrarian economy, we can't give up, a drop of water. Already there was criticism when this treaty took place, 1960-61, if you recall, of the then government, that the Pakistan government has given away 3 rivers. They have dried 3 rivers in the treaty. So we can't afford anything further giving up. Whether it's a climate-driven, so they have been corresponding with Pakistan that for the last year plus, that the circumstances have changed, the basic reality have changed, the climate impact has been different, etc., etc. Let's talk. We can't give up anything. So we have been corresponding on the one side. What they did, as a consequence of Pahalgam, they sent us a letter on 24th of April that this treaty stand in abeyance because of, until Pakistan takes, meaningful measures against terrorism, etc., etc. No, you can't. This treaty is in force. If they stop, divert water, then it's totally unacceptable. It would be against international law. It would be against international treaties, and that I'm sure that no one would like in the global community that unilateral action is taken. So the flow of water is there. It hasn't been stopped, and we have responded to 24th of April letter that you can't do it, and we are responding to your technical communications, which the last one before 20 was 8th of April, and we responded on the due date 8th of May. So you can see that we are ready for engaging each other on the water treaty.
Finally, Mr. Dar, the proponents of your political party laud you, and your critics accuse you of trying to get too close to India. Under your government, this is another flare-up with India. Diplomacy at its lowest level. The next time when we meet, where do you see the relations between the two sides?
Well, as I said, it takes 2 to tango. If India behaves, we will have good relations. And we saw that the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, its heads of government meeting last October 2024 in Pakistan, Mr. Shankar, attended. And there were 9 prime ministers of different countries, the member SU state as the government. So I think, if they mean business, if they believe in peace, if they believe in equality and mutual respect and dignity, and they believe to respect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Pakistan, we will welcome. We already doing the same. Don't forget both the skies and the ground. The action and attack was from Indian side, because one of the foreign minister told me that, Mr. Minister, can we have the ceasefire? I said, well, it is one-way war. We have only been defending ourselves. So we still have that position. And I'm sure the international community, with fair and neutral mind, they appreciate that Pakistan has worked and demonstrated maturity and sanity and tried to contain this, warfare to the minimum.
Mr. Ishaq Dar, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Pleasure. Thank you.